What's up, gamers? Masked Gamer here. Today I am going to bring you the third installment of my Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 gun reviews and class setup videos. If you watched the first couple, you'll see that I've already gone through a couple of the other assault rifles. Now we are hitting the SCAR L. First is the spray comparison. This one is shooting from the hip, and this one will be aiming down the sight without any type of proficiency. So no kick proficiency here. You will notice that this gun does kick to the upper right when you are aiming down the sights, which is one of the inherent issues that you're going to see with this weapon as you play with it. So you definitely need to burst fire. Second one, with kick. You're going to see it's not too large of a difference as far as hip firing here, but when you are aiming down the sight, it does make a little bit of a difference. It'll be noticeable depending on the type of game that you are running and playing here. So you can see the kick is a little bit less to the upper right corner. A little bit random, but it's not that bad as far as the consistency. So we'll go ahead and jump right into the gameplay here. As you can see, I'm rocking out the Javelin here. I'm about to hit my 2500th kill here, which is going to be pretty sweet. I've been using the heck out of this thing, which it's actually a lot of fun, but probably give up a little bit more deaths on that than if you had a different secondary weapon there, because you end up leaving yourself kind of a sitting duck in some situations. Anyways, the SCAR L I think is a pretty decent weapon. You'll notice that it is one of the lighter assault rifles. I would consider it a mid to lightweight weapon, which gives you a little bit more of an added mobility and gives you a little bit more of an opportunity to juke out the opposition when you are battling here. This gameplay gets off a little bit slower as we go here. Get most of my deaths out of the way in the very beginning here, as you'll see, but then we start heating up a little bit towards the middle and the end here. Now, as far as the attachment options go on this weapon, I really do like the iron sights in this weapon. It's small, doesn't block up a whole lot of your viewing area on your screen, and you know, it gives you a nice small pinpointed area to aim with. So I would suggest using the iron sights on this one. The attachment options that I would use on this one is really you're going to just use extended mag, you know, unless you're playing around with noob tubing or something like that. I would suggest using the extended mags, because you are going to be firing a little bit more with this weapon, as the power is a little bit lower than some of the assault rifles, as you'll see, but it does compensate with a higher rate of fire. This weapon's pretty good to be running around the battlefield. You're not necessarily going to have to camp with it, but you know, you're going to notice that the lack of power on it does hinder you in some situations, so you are going to want to be a little bit more mobile with this weapon. Definitely do not use a silencer with this weapon. It already is suffering from a little bit of a power deficiency, so you are not going to want to use a silencer on this weapon. It's not going to give you enough benefit to make sense. The accuracy is pretty decent on this weapon. So, you know, really, if you don't like the iron sight, which is always personal preference, you know, you can use the red dot and an extended mags, or red dot and kick. The other thing too is the kick isn't necessarily imperative, but what you'll find is that when you are getting fired upon and the enemy is hitting you, you're going to notice you're going to have a lot of view kick on this one. So sometimes focus is a good option for it. I'll typically run either focus or kick with this weapon. So as far as the ratings go, I rate all of our weapons here by 4 different categories for a total of 20 points at the end of the day. Each section is going to have a score of 1 to 5. The power, the accuracy and reliability, the movement, and the first strike. First strike would be the you come face to face with someone, you know, who's going to get that first bullet off, who's going to have the upper hand when you're going up against them. So anyways, the power on this weapon is lacking a little bit, but it is decent for an assault rifle, so I have scored it a 3. The accuracy and reliability is a fairly accurate weapon, but it does tend to kick up and to the right just a hair, so it does get a 3 as far as the accuracy and reliability goes. The movement, this is one of the more lightweight, mobile feeling assault rifles, so I do give this one a 4. This is a good run and gun type of weapon if that's the type of player that you are. and the first strike, I give it a 3. If the power was just a little bit, if the power and damage was a little bit higher on this weapon, I would give it a much higher rating, because that's, I would say, is the biggest deficiency is the power. So overall, I will give it a 13. It is a good assault rifle. I suggest anybody to use it and have fun with it if you're in a little bit more of a rushing mood, but also want a little bit of range to pump out some mid-range to long-range damage out. So next thing for the game types on this weapon, you can pretty much use this for everything. I don't really see any problem using it in free-for-all matches, hardcore, core games. You know, I see it as a pretty versatile all-around weapon. So you can pretty much use it for anything that you prefer. Now the player types, I basically break it down by 3 different player types. You're going to have your aggressive, your moderate, and your defensive / campers. This weapon can pretty much be used by everybody, but I would say it's probably going to be most effective in the hands of somebody that is a moderate to aggressive player. And you'll see this is kind of a funny part in the gameplay here. I back off here to drop my Predator missile here, and then after I drop that, I wake up and a couple guys there, and somehow I'm lucky enough to cap that last guy there. It gets a little bit crazy, but anyways, back to the gun review here. So basically the player type would be, you know, aggressive to moderate. You could be a defensive player too, but if you're a defensive player, I'd probably pick something up with a little bit more damage, since you are going to be a little bit further away in a lot of situations and hiding in corners. And then as far as the skill level, skill levels, I consider 3 different skill levels. Obviously there's going to be varying levels within that, but I would say that there are good players, average players, and then beginners, with the majority of Call of Duty players being average. I would say this is a good weapon for all skill levels. You can be a brand new player and this is a good weapon because of the reliability and everything, or you can be a good player and really lay out some damage with this thing. So pretty much anybody can use it. Real versatile weapon. It is good. It happens to be Sheila's favorite weapon, my girlfriend and co-commentator, and helps us out the channel here. So she swears by this weapon, and she has for quite some time. It is her by far favorite weapon. When I was doing this review, she's like, "Why are you complaining about the power? I love this weapon." So apparently chicks love this gun. Anyways, the class setup for this, obviously it's going to be a little bit more of my standard assault rifle setup here. I think sleight of hand is definitely a must for the vast majority of the assault rifles, if not all of them. For your second, I would say you're going to want assassin, quick draw, or hardline, depending on your play type. Quick draw is definitely helpful if you are more of an aggressive player. So if you're aggressive and you want to play with this and do a lot of rushing, quick draw will be good because it will get you a little bit of an improvement on that first strike when you're coming head to head with people. And then my third recommendation is, of course, Stalker. I think it is a must for most player types. Obviously, if you're defensive, you could do, you know, one of the other perks there, but I really think that the perk setup you should be using is Stalker. Gives you that mobility that is necessary when you are on the battlefield. So just a quick review here. Our overall rating for this weapon is 13. The biggest benefit is probably the mobility and the rate of fire and your first strike ability. You can really come up to people and shoot them in the face and kind of have that advantage in a lot of situations over a lot of weapons. Biggest detriment is that it does lack a little bit of power, and it does tend to kick to the top right of the screen. So anyways, guys, I hope you have been enjoying these reviews. We're going to be coming up with another one here in a couple of days. We'll be doing the CM901, and then we are going to move our way down the assault rifles list and then move on to the submachine guns. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate all of your support. If you enjoy our videos, please subscribe, continue to support us, and we will continue to put out the best videos that we possibly can. Appreciate all the positive attitudes out there and everybody that I play with and have a good time with. So until next time, Masked Gamer is out.